What concerns me, I'd like for there to be more featuring of the good journalism that I know exists, and it does exist, but it's a race for clicks and views. The marketplace rules. And I often ask this question of students when I speak with them and folks. When I worked at ESPN, why did we turn the lights on in the morning, unlock the doors, turn on the computers, and sit down and start? Why did we do all of this?
Who is that, you may be asking? It's ESPN legend Bob Ley.
Can you come in here? I want to show you this. I want to show America this. We have this agenda. All right, that FIFA puts out all this stuff. 4:30 in the morning, we got up, coming down this through the Israeli-Palestinian question, down to here, down to number 17, election of the president. They have now jumped back to number 11.
Bob, it's going to be a long day.
No, I'm just
going to get frustrated.
I'm not frustrated. I just want to make the point. For those who say it is base canard and unfair that FIFA makes it up as they go along, they are making it up as they go along.
Who is an inspiration, let me be clear, to many.
Rush Limbaugh. There's a little bit of philosophical daylight between the radio commentator and yourself, but still, I'd like you to get your thoughts on the 1 week period that saw him go from being a part of Dave Checkett's group and then the socio-political and just national hue and cry about his participation. At the end of the week, he's out of the group.
Myself included. And in 2019, after 40 years, 40, he retired from the network. He hosted Outside the Lines, E60, pillars of tried and true sports journalism that have simply gone by the wayside. And when asked about all of this, in the day of our Lord, year of our Lord, rather, 2025, here's what he said.
Well, yeah, to earn a living, yeah. Send your kids through college, yeah. To provide programming for okay, fine. But the real answer, the baseline answer is we do all of this to increase value for the shareholders of the Walt Disney Company. It's a capitalist society, last I checked, unless Bernie Sanders is running through the streets with the flag at the moment. And so you got to get comfortable with that. And it's real easy, I think, for those of us in the media, especially journalists. We have this sometimes dominant diva gene where we think we're doing the Lord's work and God forbid anyone encroach on our turf. We're doing important work, but you've got to accept, especially now as you come into the field, that you've got to earn your keep.
The irony is not lost on us that Lee is speaking with Outkick. He clearly has a good relationship with the host, Ricky Cobb. But Outkick is the epitome of what he's discussing here. Regardless, on the topic of shareholders, Lee said this.
Before the pandemic hit, if I wanted to have a guest on from FaceTime or Zoom, which didn't exist at the time, but with Skype, whatever, the engineering folks rightfully would say, the quality's not good enough. We can't. Well, now, of course, whatever. And at the end of March in 2020, I distinctly remember saying, once the accountants figure out how much money they have saved this month, the industry will never go back. And it's true. They really haven't. But if you're talking volume, and Turner this year was criticized, rightfully or wrongfully, I'm not really sure. I got into all the circumstances. 2 of their Stanley Cup games, they called off monitors. They didn't travel to the announcers to the site. That's the marketplace rules. Stock price those are the 2 most important words right now out there. Stock price. That drives everything else through an organization, whether you can expand, whether your show will stay on the air, whether your newsroom will stay staffed at that current level. The Washington Post just went through a whole nother offer of job reduction buyouts on the last several days. It's a challenging time.
Spot on with his assessment, by the way. Aside from playoff games, countryside, we have also seen broadcast teams for, at times, the Europa League, Champions League, and others do it from a remote studio, which affects the product greatly. In Major League Baseball, if you don't remember, the Anaheim Angels were one of 2 teams to not send their announcers on the road. That's bad. That's troubling, to say the least.
To be in, you talk about, do you miss working in the newsroom? Do you miss OTL? I can't imagine the challenge that exists on the very basic level of verifying, is that a real soundbite? Is that tape real? Is that image real?
He'd also touch on AI in sports media. Also bad.
Every day, every piece of video. I mean, I doom scroll occasionally on Facebook. Stuff comes along. How do you verify this? How do you know the efficacy of every soundbite, of every piece of B-roll? It's tough. Now, and then, all right, the next slice of that story of AI, the impact. And I just saw something on Axios this morning, what some people are saying, what AI is going to do, the white collar industry is going to wipe out entry-level jobs in the next 5 to 10 years and drive the unemployment rate in some industries up to double digits. I mean, logging tapes, cutting highlights, writing rudimentary copy, even some involved copy, all done by humans, all done by a lot of people in their first or second jobs in the industry. We may not need them in 3 years. And if I was running the company, the humane thing would be to do, let's hit the brakes on hiring, because we're not going to hire somebody we're going to have to let go in 18 months because of AI necessarily. It's a challenge all the way around for those entering the industry, for those managing the industry, and for those that are hiding under the sheets, wondering whether it's going to mean the end of humanity if they get a hold of the nuclear codes. Not to go too deep on you, Ricky.
I think these are legitimate concerns because Bob Ley, an esteemed journalist, presenter, award winner for his work in media, is telling you right now that even when he logs on to his social media platform of choice, he can't decipher what is real and what is AI. I have seen some troubling videos of fake influencers at Coachella, and it looks real. There might be a few things here and there that we could possibly decipher from, but I am telling you right now, if an award-winning journalist who has been a staple in the industry cannot tell fact from fiction on different videos that are being presented to us on our feeds and our algorithms, that is an industry shifting problem. And to go back to his point of stakeholders, he's right. You really think they want to fly people out now to do interviews? No, of course not. Do they have the money? Yeah. But do they want to cut corners and save as much as possible so they could give McAfee a raise or someone else who's coming up a big salary? Yeah. Because they know that the math ain't mathin' if they keep flying people out from different parts of the country or even outside the country to come in and do an interview for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, or they go through the car wash at ESPN where they do ESPN radio, they do different shows, various shows on the network, blah, blah, blah. They know that it just doesn't matter anymore, and Bob Ley is right about that. He is. So as long as the shareholders are going to have their say, which they always will, this is the direction we are going in, and it is troubling. This is very, very troubling for many in the industry, myself included. And one thing that I will say is when he talks about cutting tape, editing stuff, those were the jobs I did when I was starting out. Whether it was broadcasting in middle school, high school, college, interning, doing the B word work, I did it. And it helped me grow. Now, has the industry completely shifted from being like, you got to go to small town Iowa and small town New Hampshire and get your start and work your way up? Yeah, of course, it's changed. It's changed. And he goes on to say that creativity wins, which is absolutely true. But for the networks like ESPN, CBS, Fox Sports, they will implement these strategies because it does not benefit them to pay somebody who is just starting out that is going to make a minimum wage salary because they want to break in. They know it. And it's coming. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.